Yo, XRP fam, gather round because I'm buzzing to drop this on you right now. Picture this. If you time things smart with all the chaos going down, just grabbing and holding 1000 XRP could straight up transform your life for good. Some of y'all can stack way more, and that'd hit even harder, but come on, let's dive into this whole US-Iran drama because I swear we're looking at a massive window to buy XRP super low, almost like the stars are aligning perfectly. This is hands down the play I'm most hyped about for my own bags. I see real millionaire potential building toward the next crypto explosion. Stuff's heating up fast out there. The negative headlines are slamming XRP's price, but trust me, there's this bright side hiding in the mess that's basically yelling, buy now. It all circles back to oil and the US getting tangled in it, with 4 fresh big developments dropping lately that are game changers. We're still on a Sunday, so markets haven't gone wild yet, but when they open, get ready for some serious action. U.S. forces hit Karg Island hard. That's Iran's massive oil export hub, not some random spot. And Trump's out here pushing every country to send their warships and force the Strait of Hormuz back open for tankers. The whole war outlook is dragging on longer now. Just days ago, the U.S. was acting like it was basically over, but today they're saying it could take a few more weeks to finish. Remember March 9th? Trump was calling it very complete. Yet even as the Navy preps to push through, shipping's basically stopped dead in the strait. No boats moving. That's why I'm tuning out the politicians' talk and zeroing in on what the military's actually doing. Those guys don't bluff the same way. Their moves show the real plan. Politicians love spinning stories to seem tough or whatever fits their vibe. U.S. gas prices have jumped crazy. The average is hovering right around $3.70 a gallon now. That's up a whole dollar from December's low and like 28% since this Iran conflict blew up. Markets are screaming loud and clear, this supply mess ain't ending quick and it's going to keep hurting oil flow. U.S. oil companies, though, they're straight profiting big time. America's got more than enough home production to cover itself, but with prices spiking, they're raking it in like never before, no doubt about it. Iran's not backing down either. They're promising non-stop revenge hits on U.S. and Israeli targets, firing off missiles and drones daily to stretch this thing out forever if they can. Meanwhile, the U.S. is rushing extra ammo and weapons shipments straight to Israel to keep pounding Iran. Come on, does any of that sound like a done deal? Hell no. Trump wouldn't be begging European navies to join up in the strait if it was all wrapped. Countries are linking arms to try forcing oil through again, but keep an eye out. Israel's probably cooking up some unexpected plays, so stay sharp. Trump straight said Iran wants a deal bad, but the terms suck, so he's holding off. That vibe feels like ramp up for more strikes, even if his words bounce around. With all that extra gear heading over, it's looking more like escalation than peace. Now tie this to XRP. I've shown you all before that whenever oil spikes hard, XRP dips quick almost every time. If the strait stays blocked longer, oil's 100% pushing over $100 a barrel. Easy call. Over 20% of global oil plus tons of gas routes through there. China, Japan, all Asia leans on it heavy, so massive pain for them. Prices blast up, and untouched companies cash in huge. But okay, enough setup. Let's hit the charts for the golden opportunity right in front of us. 2 key pieces I haven't mentioned yet. Think back to that death cross in 2022. Crypto crashed brutal in 2021, 2022 from bad economy vibes. Insane inflation feels familiar today, huh? Giant firms collapsed, billions gone, FTX, Celsius, the works. They had to liquidate everything, XRP, Solana, BTC, to pay debts. It all started with high inflation plus the Fed squeezing money supply, jacking up loan costs. Borrowers couldn't handle it, dominoes fell. XRP hit bottom near 30 cents, lining up perfect when it broke below the 200-week SMA, and that 20-week crossed the 200-week SMA. In every bear, buying at those crosses has been fire. Fast forward to now. We already saw the 50-week and 20-week cross starting the bear drop. We're literally at the 100-week and 20-week cross right this second. Last cycle had the same pattern. The big finale, 20-week crossing the 200-week. That's load the truck time. Real talk, though. Even the earlier 20-week, 100-week cross was killer. Got you in around 30, 39 cents. Any of these death cross moments in a bear? Prime entry zone. That's exactly why a modest bag like 1,000 or 10,000 XRP flips lives. Imagine snagging it at that cross near 30 cents, holding through till we smashed above the 200-week SMA and topped out close to $3.66. Boom, over 10x, straight 11x gains. Simple hold net's about 1,120% return. With 10,000 XRP, roughly $33,000 profit. Throw in compounded interest across those couple years, jumps to 1,745%. That's 17x instead of 11x, turning it into $52,000 profit. Run the numbers, 10K or 100K in. 17x is life-altering. And yeah, that high APY, like 23%, is legit. I'm earning it via our partner CoinDepot. Use my link to join and grab it yourself. My weekly interest setup's at 17.5% APY currently, top-tier stuff. Licensed in Europe and El Salvador, audited by Curtic and Fireblocks, solid. I've been pulling in thousands extra monthly on stables, XRP, BTC, you name it. Jump now or chill for the full 200-week cross. Either way, we're smacking that ideal buy zone again. Don't sleep on letting your holdings earn while you wait. That's how you squeeze max value. World works that way. So if you're down to crush this with the tension rising, hit up CoinDepot. Links pinned at the top and in the description. Sign up, back the channel. They're partners and I genuinely love them. If this fired you up, smash like, sub, and I'll catch y'all next time. Wordy por tibiao chupor 3 fast muhe script ko bara se 15 minute ka karna hai yo XRP fam. What's good? Pull up closer because I'm seriously pumped to lay this all out for you right now. Imagine this, if you catch the wave with everything popping off at the moment, even something as simple as picking up and holding on to just 1,000 XRP could completely turn your life upside down in the best way possible, like forever changed. And look, a bunch of you out there can afford to load up way heavier than that, which would make the impact feel even crazier and more life-altering. But real talk, we got to break down this whole tense situation between the US and Iran, because in my eyes, this is setting up one of those rare golden moments where you can jump into XRP at basically the ideal bottom price before things flip. For me personally, this feels like the single smartest, highest upside move I'm making with my own portfolio. I genuinely believe this setup could help me stack millions as we roll into the next massive bull run in crypto. The energy out here is ramping up quick. Bad headlines everywhere are dragging XRP's price lower and lower, creating all this downward pressure. But hidden right in the middle of that negativity, there's this massive silver lining, this clear opportunity screaming at anyone paying attention to get positioned now before it's too late. Everything right now links straight back to oil markets and how the US is caught up in this mess. We've had 4 really significant new updates drop in the last little while, and each one amps up how important this moment is. Since it's still Sunday, the big markets haven't had their full freakout reaction yet, but man, when trading opens, things are going to move fast and hard. Expect some real fireworks. We're talking confirmed US military strikes on Karg Island, which is literally Iran's main oil export terminal, a huge deal, not some minor spot. And on top of that, President Trump is openly calling on nations around the world to bring in their naval forces and basically force the Strait of Hormuz open so oil tankers can start flowing again without getting blocked. The expected end date for this whole conflict keeps stretching further out. Not long ago, the US was talking like the fighting was pretty much wrapped and victory was in hand. But now the messaging has shifted. They're saying it might drag on for another few weeks at least. Go back to March 9th for a second. Trump himself was out there saying the war was very complete. Fast forward to today, even though the US Navy is actively preparing operations to clear and secure the strait, commercial shipping activity through that critical waterway is basically at zero. Almost no vessels are risking it right now. And that's exactly why I've stopped listening so much to what politicians are saying on TV or Twitter. Politicians bluff constantly. They say whatever helps project strength, weakness, negotiation leverage, whatever suits the goal that day. Instead, I'm laser focused on the actual military actions and deployments because those tell the true story of intentions. Actions speak way louder than press conferences. Take a look at US gas prices. They've climbed sharply and fast. Right now, the national average is sitting around $3.70 per gallon. That's jumped a full dollar since the December bottom, and it's up about 28% overall since this Iran situation really ignited. The market itself is pricing in that this disruption isn't going away anytime soon. It's baking an ongoing risk to global oil supply chains. US-based oil and gas producers, they're quietly celebrating. America already produces more than enough crude and natural gas to fully supply its own needs domestically. But with these higher global prices from the chaos, those companies are making absolute bank. They're taking full advantage and profiting massively from the situation, no question. On the other side, Iran keeps coming out strong, repeating that they'll continue launching devastating attacks against US interests and Israeli targets. They're talking missiles, drones, whatever it takes every single day, basically committing to prolonging the fight as long as possible. And what is the US response? They're actively sending additional shipments of munitions, ammunition, and support gear directly to Israel to sustain and intensify strikes inside Iran. Ask yourself honestly, does any of that behavior look like a conflict that's truly over and done? To me, it screams the opposite. It looks very much ongoing and heating up. Trump himself wouldn't be publicly urging European countries and other allies to send their naval vessels to help patrol and open the Strait of Hormuz if the situation was resolved. Multiple nations are now coordinating, banding together to try getting oil shipments moving safely again. But heads up, Israel often has its own plans and operations that catch people off guard, so don't rule out some surprise developments there that could shake things even more. Trump recently commented that Iran is pushing for a deal, but he turned it down because the proposed terms aren't good enough in his view. That kind of statement, combined with his shifting tone, feels like a signal of more military pressure coming rather than de-escalation. Especially since we have concrete evidence of more weapons flowing into the region right now. It all points toward continued escalation, not winding down. So how does all this crazy geopolitical stuff connect directly to XRP? Well, I've explained this pattern in past videos. Historically, whenever oil prices surge sharply higher, XRP's price tends to react by dropping almost immediately afterward. It's a pretty consistent inverse relationship we've seen play out. If these disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz keep going for an extended period, oil is almost guaranteed to climb well above $100 per barrel. There's really no debating that outcome. Think about it. More than 20% of the entire world's daily oil supply, plus a huge chunk of liquefied natural gas, has to pass through that one narrow strait. Major importers like China, Japan, South Korea, and much of Asia rely heavily on those flows. Any prolonged blockage creates absolute chaos for them, drives prices through the roof, and lets unaffected producers, especially in the US, rake in enormous profits. All right, now let's shift gears to the technical side because this is where the real life-changing opportunity is staring us right in the face on the charts. There are two important chart signals I haven't covered yet that make this timing feel so perfect. First off, let's flash back to that famous death cross we saw back in 2022. During 2021 and into 2022, the whole crypto market got wrecked because economic conditions turned brutal, sky-high inflation, just like we're experiencing echoes of today. Major crypto firms imploded spectacularly, wiping out billions, FTX collapse, Celsius bankruptcy, all those dominoes falling. To stay afloat or meet redemptions, they were forced to liquidate huge amounts of crypto holdings. XRP got dumped hard, along with Solana, Bitcoin, everything. That crash was triggered mainly by runaway inflation combined with the Federal Reserve's aggressive quantitative tightening, which made borrowing costs explode higher. Companies that relied on cheap debt suddenly couldn't service their loans, leading to that brutal chain reaction of failures. XRP eventually found its cycle low right around 30 cents, and that bottom aligned almost textbook perfectly. The price broke below the 200-week simple moving average, and we got that key crossover where the 20-week SMA crossed under the 200-week SMA. In basically every major bear market cycle, buying exactly at or near that kind of death cross moment has turned out to be an incredible entry point. Now bring it to the present day. We've already seen the first warning cross happen between the 50-week SMA and the 20-week SMA that marked the official start of this bearish phase. Right this very moment, we're watching the next significant cross form, the 100-week SMA crossing with the 20-week SMA. We saw the exact same sequence play out in the previous cycle. And the final, most powerful signal, when the 20-week SMA finally crosses below the 200-week SMA, that's historically the spot where smart money loads up aggressively because the bottom is near. But here's the thing, even that earlier cross between the 20-week and 100-week SMA was a fantastic buy zone last time. People who entered there caught XRP between roughly 30 and 39 cents. So really, any of these death cross alignments during a prolonged bear market have proven to be prime accumulation windows. That's precisely why even a relatively small position, like 1,000 XRP or maybe 10,000 XRP, has the potential to completely transform someone's financial future. Let's run a quick historical example to show you what I mean. Suppose you bought in right at one of those crosses around 30 cents. Then you simply held through the recovery until price broke decisively above the 200-week SMA and we approached the cycle peak near $3.66. That move alone delivered more than 10 times your money, actually closer to 11x overall. A straight hold strategy would have given you about 1,220% total return on that position. Now, scale it up. If you had 10,000 XRP at that entry, your profit would have been in the ballpark of $33,000. But here's where it gets really exciting. If you layered on compounded interest during the multi-year hold period, which is totally doable, that return jumps from 1,120% all the way up to around 1,145%. In other words, instead of 11x, you're looking at roughly 17x your original capital. That same 10,000 XRP position now nets you closer to $52,000 in profit. Do the quick math yourself. Even if you only put in $10,000 or maybe $100,000 total, turning that into 17 times your input is absolutely game-changing money. And yes, that kind of high-yield compounded return, around 23% APY, or even the 17.5% I'm personally earning right now, is 100% achievable today. I'm doing it through our trusted partner, CoinDepot. If you sign up using my special link, you can start earning the same way. My own weekly interest account is currently yielding 17.5% APY, which is among the highest rates available anywhere. They're properly licensed in places like Europe and El Salvador, and they've been fully audited by top firms Certic and Fireblocks for security and transparency. I've been using their platform consistently to generate thousands of extra dollars every single month just from holding stablecoins, XRP, Bitcoin, and a few others while waiting out these cycles. So whether you decide to enter right here at this current cross level, or you prefer to wait patiently for that final 200-week SMA death cross to confirm the absolute bottom, the core message stays the same. We're sitting in one of those historically strong accumulation zones again. The biggest mistake anyone can make now is letting their capital sit idle without earning while you hold through the dip. That's leaving free money on the table, and the market doesn't reward that. Bottom line, if you want to fully capitalize on this building tension and position yourself for the massive upside ahead, go check out CoinDepot today. The link is right up in the top pinned comment and also down in the video description. Click through, sign up, and while you're at it, show some love to the channel since they're an official partner. I really believe in their service and use it myself every day. If this breakdown got you hyped and thinking differently about the current setup, drop a like, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Stay sharp out there, XRP Army. Big things coming. Chow's 9 fast.